Okay. Good evening, everyone. So, welcome to week 6 of the CNE series, where we are presenting the case studies on the account of HNTP anniversary. The 6th anniversary celebrations are on, and you're all on to the week 6 with two more fabulous cases. We have today the first one to go with. I'll introduce that first. So, it's the story of a young girl. You know, uh, it's a travel, I would say, from self doubt to self worth. Wherein, if you see everything over the years, she was hiding. She was hiding about her puberty, about her lot of things, about her emotions, about her insecurities, and how it ended up actually in irregularities in her periods, and how the reproductive health has actually hampered because of all these insecurities and emotional distress, and how she was able to heal herself. Journey was a little longer one and a quite a emotional one, but yet it's quite a worth listening one. So you will get the details from her. So over to you, Gayatri. So today's speaker is Kamakshi Gayatri from Hyderabad. So she would be presenting a PCOD reversal story. Over to you.
Hello everyone, I'm Kamakshi Gayatri. I have completed my master's in nutrition and dietetics. So let me share my certificate. Uh, Today I'm going to present a healing case of PCOD, and this is my self-transformation case. So let me ask you, what did it strike when I said it's a PCOD transformation? Uh, so it might be mostly where the very familiar case, which we know that is where the period ceased for a couple of months or years, right? But in my case, it was different. It was quite opposite. Here, I was bleeding continuously for days, for weeks, for months, and yes, for years too. So let me start with my story with the areas of life before I started working on myself. Coming to physical health, my physical health was, it was good, okay, like not bad. I was not physically active doing exercises and all, but I used to work for around 1.5 to 2 kilometers 2 to 3 times a week. And apart from that, yes, I used to have a lot of acne on my cheeks. Like there was no area in my cheeks which didn't have. So yes, that was my physical health. Coming to social health, now whenever I was in a social setting, I always used to compare myself. Like for instance, if we were at a wedding, I'd compare myself with everyone. Like okay, she's good, she is carrying herself well, her weight is good and all. And I would compare it with me instantly. And not only in the physical aspect, even academically, I always feel that I was not, academically good enough, or I always compared myself, criticized myself. But the irony is, everyone around me knew I was really good at things and all. And now, when I look back at my report cards or my marks and all, I was actually good at my academics. So yes, that's how my social health was, where I used to always compare myself. Coming to relationship health, I was born and brought up in a nuclear family where both of my parents are working. So honestly, I don't know what a normal family setting is like. It's not like we don't talk or don't communicate. It's more like we talk or communicate very, only when there's some need. Generally, we are busy in our works and all that kind of thing. So that's how my relationship with my family is changed. And coming to my relationship with friends, that's what I always got the best pair of friends in every part of my life. But I was the person who was not opening up to them. Like always, I had this thought, ki, if I share something, what they might think, kind of. So I never opened up. And it was funny now. If I look back, it's really funny how I always hit myself in a plain sight. And generally, I always saw, when friends go apart, they have this emotional bondage and all. I always lacked that emotional bonding. I never cried. I saw many people cry and all. So yes, I lacked that emotional connection too. Now, coming to my psycho-emotional health, as I shared, I was constantly full of insecurities. I never opened up. I never appreciated myself, or I never acknowledged myself. But everyone around me knew my potential. Coming to spiritual health, I was always spiritually inclined from my childhood, but somewhere there was this fear within me, like if I, deviated from this path of my life, there might be something happening. Something bad might happen. Bad might happen to me or my family. So this kind of fear was attached to my spiritual, the spiritual aspect. Now coming to my journey. So I have, yeah. So August 2023 was where everything changed. Now, generally, before August 2023, I used to skip periods very rarely. Like, I wouldn't say skip periods. Sometimes it used to get delayed 10 or 15 days. So that was rarely once in a year or once or twice in a year, something like that. So that was normal. We consider it normal, right? Now, in July 2023, I missed my period. So I didn't care much. August 2023, I got my period. So I was like, yeah, everything's fine at all. But what happened was on August 2023, when I got my periods, at first the bleeding was very low, very minimal. I thought, okay, fine, it will improve. It will gradually get better. Slowly, my bleeding increased. It was not reducing. It's been a week, it was not reducing. Then it's almost a month, and still I'm bleeding. I'm using sanitary napkins. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 napkins I was using per day. Then, after a month, I went to a gynecologist. There, when I went to a gynecologist, her approach was totally different. Like she never listened to my problem. She was not even considering what I was saying at all. Uh, as I went in and I just came out with the prescription, she gave me a list of tablets. She didn't even ask for scanning. I was like, why and all. Then when I went to the medic, I gave him the slip. The only medicines costed 10,000 rupees. I was like, I mean, am I in seeing my sane mind to buy this medicine? So obviously, I didn't purchase them, and I came back home. I came back home. Then I started searching through internet, YouTube, YouTube. I surfed the complete internet A to Z, and then I landed on Fabric Movements page where they suggested Ashker juice for detox, and also they suggested this tying wet cloth on forehead, neck, and on face so that it will regulate our body temperature. It helps in detoxification, and also I started doing that. Now it was good. I was doing it. Along with that, I was following few nutritional changes, like including more fiber in my diet, and I had this sweet. Like if I see a sweet or chocolate, I will just want it. So I was controlling all these things. And yes, so I started following these things. Now, when I was following the sattvic movements, these two things, the Ashkar choose and the wet cloth, I followed it religiously for around 1.5 months. Then I was traveling for a couple of days. Now, as soon as I stopped doing these things, my periods, this thing again, it resumed. I was like, okay, now I can't be doing this thing continuously for the rest of my life. So it's not working anymore. Then I was like, okay, fine, this is not working. Let's find another route. And I went to a homeopathic doctor. It's actually a college in Ramanpur, where this college come hospital. So they also didn't listen to my problem. They were just, fastly, they gave medicines and all. I was like, okay, fine, let's try homeopathic. I tried it for 1.5 months. It didn't work kind of. And I heard another doctor who was really a good homeopathic. Like his reviews were crazy. Like, if you go to him, you'll definitely get healed. So I was like, okay, fine, let's try stop. When I met him, it was nothing less than me talking with the principal. And I felt like me having this PCOD is a crime. And I mean, can you imagine the tension in that environment, that room? I was not very open up. I was not, easily conveying my problem to him. So, anyways, I started having these medicines for 1 month, for 2 months, but my periods didn't, decrease, but in fact, my bleeding increased more. Where slowly, I was using 2 or 3 napkins a day. At least earlier it was less. So I was like, okay, this is not working. I stopped again. Next came June 2024. So now between August and June, it's almost a year's gap. That is almost 10 months gap. Here, all the 9 months I was bleeding. Only 1 month I was, not bleeding. I was having just normal white discharge, I can say. Okay, now coming to June 2024. Here, to be precise, on June 3rd or 4th, I got severe stomachache. Then I went to a nearest gynac. Then she gave me few medicines, iron tablets and all. I followed it till uh, November 2024. And in December, she said like, okay, we'll stop the course right now. We'll see naturally if we will be getting periods or not. If not, you can, again come back to me. So December I got my periods naturally. I was happy. Then January also it was good. And February too I got it naturally. Now here in January I joined H3, where the biggest shift I could say here was, earlier I was not very consistent towards my exercises, and as I said, I was following all these things. They were not structured. But once I joined H3, all these things fell into a structure to me, like doing exercises every day. Following. Uh, the things which I was doing, but in a more meticulous and structured format. Now, here coming back to February 25, my periods were naturally, and again in my it was not reducing. It was March 15th, March 16th. It was still I was bleeding, and I again went to the doctor. She gave me medicines again. Through medicines again, the cycle got normal. But again, I felt like, okay, if this is how, I mean, it's not like I should be taking the medicines. I can rely on medicines the whole life, right? So after March, I stopped taking medicines after that one cycle. Then April, I got my periods normally. Then in the May, too, it followed naturally. Then in May 25, I got my periods and it did not stop again. Then I was like, following the exercises, and ma'am used to give these interventions to the clients. I was following them parallelly too. So somehow my uh, period has got improvised, I could say. Like earlier, as I said, I had to use my sanitary napkin almost every day. Like a number of days I'm bleeding, and all these days I have to use the napkin. But here, few days I have to use the napkin. The rest of the days, it was like it was spotting kind of thing. Okay. So that's how it was. Then in November 2026, I talked with Dhanya Lakshmi ma'am. Dhanya Lakshmi ma'am gave suggested seed cycling and gratitude practice. I was doing them, and 1 week into seed cycling, I got my period. Like my period stopped naturally, and again in December I got them naturally without anything. Uh, yes, I was following the seed cycling. Yeah. So after December, again it continued till May 2021. So in this period, since I joined H3 since 2025, there has been a tremendous, let's say, uh, emotional shift, holistic shift within me. Okay, now, yes, so all these years till August 2023 to May 2026, I would say I was not being myself. I was, I used to always cry, like, till how many years or how much. So I always, cried, and while I was breathing or while I was sleeping, I always used to cry, hey, till how much is this? Or I used to blame myself, like, what wrong did I do that I'm facing all this? And so at this time, I remembered the scene, like, if you remember in Mahabharata, there was the scene where Gandhari, she was not, delivering. It's been more than 9 months. I suppose it was in Europe. She was, hating herself so much, and she was harming herself, kind of thing. So then, when I was a child, when I was watching that scene, I felt like, how come somebody, hate themselves to the core? And I was here today where I was hating the core of my existence, like why all this and all. And yes, that was the maddest phase of my life, I could say. Basically. So, yes, now this is what I was going through all this 3 years. Okay, now
Have
coming
some
to the
water,
root cause.
Gayatri. Have some water. You're fine,
Give me
dear. Just deep breathe.
okay, now coming to the root cause. I say this is my turning point. So in this April 26th April, ending of April and starting of May, Jyoti ma'am started this, the whole history team used to sit for meditation at early morning 4:30 a.m. What Jyoti ma'am said was key, if you have any questions or anything unanswered, you can, keep that intention and sit for meditation. And obviously, I was, keeping that the same intention. What's wrong? Why am I all these years? I was trying to find the root cause. I was unable to find. I'm unable to heal myself. Like I was in such a helpless situation. So after a few days into meditating on Gayatri mantra, this thought struck me. Like generally, I have this anger issues. So okay, the thought was key. Okay, anger we generally relate it to the color red, and I'm bleeding so much. So it is somewhere associated with my suppressed anger of all these years. And I know generally self-talk works like magic for me. So I started to talk with me like, it's okay. We don't have to show that much anger. It's okay. And, all this self-talk. Then few days later, there was this other thought which struck me that during graduation, it was like I was the only one who used to help my mom doing the chores or literally anything. My sister and my brother, they wouldn't, help. Even when I asked, there was no help from them. Like it was still in such a way that even during my exams or days where I had to leave early due to my practicals, I was the one doing all these things. So maybe my body thought, hey, if I, if I will be bleeding or continuously, then I might skip doing these things. So maybe that's why my body took this as a, reason to escape from all these things. But again, once I realized, I started self-talk. Hey, it's okay. You don't have to do everything. We can say no. And honestly, for all these years, I used to blame my mother and my sister for making me feel neglected and insecure. Then one day I realized that they never intentionally hurt me. They never intentionally said me to do these things, feel this way, or have these thoughts. It was me who was carrying all these emotions. Then there was this line on Instagram saying that it is our parents' first life too. It is their first time experiencing the life too. Then, since then my approach changed. And honestly, now, if I say my relationship with my mom, she shares everything with me. And my sister, she's like, if anything happens to her, she shouts my name first rather than, generally we shout our parents' name. That's not how my sister is. She calls my name. And my brother, he shares everything with me. And my dad, he supports me in all the stupidest ideas I do. Now I have such a good family and I'm still watering those weeds in my heart. The past thoughts which I planted. Finally I let them go. I release them through all the burning process and all and now yes the memories do exist, but the emotions attached to them they don't, yeah, they don't exist. And yes, now yeah, coming to the interventions that help me. Exercises, they work like magic. I was consistent to exercises, the 5 a.m. exercises. It helped me to improve my physical health. Next, burning process and gratitude. I would say these were the two major tools which helped me to have that shift in my thought, that helped me to bring back to life from all the darkness I was, all these things I was running in my mind. And no, honestly, that is honestly a really magical prayer. Not only confined to my periods, but even if I have any pain or anything, I'll just do Hopno while sleeping, and morning it just vanished. The conscious breathing, I said, we used to do it in the morning meditation, also conscious breathing. So that worked like anything. And yes, also sleep cycling too. That helped me to regularize my periods. Coming to the after 7 years of my life right now. So here you can see there is this chart. This in this recent lifestyle reset cycle, Jyoti ma'am actually she measured our 8 years of life. So here you can see within this 3 months there was this change of 10% improvement in my physical health, 20 in psychological health, and environmental health. It was 6.25%. So what I can say is, coming to social health, I'm no longer the person who hides myself. I openly share my thoughts. I don't constantly compare myself with others anymore. Even though I have that thought, I'm like, okay, like that thought is erased within few minutes, not that I'm holding on to that thought. And I'm finally, learning to recognize my own worth instead of seeking validation. Coming to my relationship health, as I said, my relationship with my family is got, it has improved. In fact, I think it was better, but I acknowledged it now. Then, yes, I'm expressing more of myself through my friends and all. And yes, coming to psycho-emotional health, my anger reduced, and I no longer, hate myself or this kind of thoughts. Just, I don't know, they shut down long time ago, and I no longer blame myself or my family. So yes, this is it. And coming to spiritual health, if you remember, I said that I had this fear attached to uh, my spiritual health. But along this healing, I don't know how my shift in thought, my there was a shift in my thought that generally how we attach the prayer is that we should be physically pure, we should do this head bath and all to do puja and all. But my approach with my God, like my perception is that everyone has their own connection with the God. And for me, it is internal connection, not a physical connection where you should be physically pure or something like that. And it's like, if I'm in trouble, I'll pray to my God. And honestly, now, even if I'm on my bed or I'm bleeding or I'm doing anything, but I am feeling very, you know, restless inside. I sit and I listen to Lalita Sahasranama or Shivatandav Sot, Aigin Nandini or Shivasparnamala Stuti or anything which calms me now. I don't think that, okay, physically the environment is not good. No, that's not how I think right now. So I say that is one of the major shift in spiritual health. Yes, thank you. That about me. Yes,
I can read it for you. I'm truly thankful to Suresh sir, Jyoti Srinivas ma'am, and Lakshmi ma'am for always supporting me, helping me when needed. I really can't imagine my life without your guidance. I mean, honestly, right now, I might still be popping those pills or what kind of emotional state I might be living. Oh my God, I don't want to imagine too. Being a part of this community brought me only happiness, and the shift in my thoughts, feelings, and my approach to everything changed. The person I am right now is only because of you. I can't thank you more. I'm really, really grateful that you three pulled me out of my darkness. Thank you for being that silver lining of my life. Thank you so much. So that's a story of a young girl who took almost 2 long years to open up and break her own nutshell, break her own cage to um, bring up the things that we go through in everyday life and how they have impacted the hidden emotions, the hidden uh, thoughts, which become and inherited suffering without knowing, and how it implicated the health outcome and how we could able to change it is an inspiring story. Thank you for that, Gayatri. So we will head to the second case today, and I will take up the Q&A later. So let me introduce you the second speaker for today's presentation. So this is a very uh, very different case. There's a common belief across the crowd that aging, chronic pain, or decades of unhealthy habits are irreversible. People obviously think that, like 70s, once they're 70s plus, 80s plus, that's how the perception of people are. But this particular case study is an inspiring story of a 78-year-old gentleman who lived years with fatty liver, chronic knee pain, and poor mobility, and multiple more things. But how he has